If you are a serious lifter, chances are you will deal with an injury at some point. I've had my fair share over the years, and the most common one for me has always been shoulder impingement. I first experienced it back in 2010 in my right shoulder. Now, 15 years later, it's back, only this time I'm also dealing with an inflamed biceps tendon. In 2010, I was in my 20s and it took about 12 weeks to fully recover. Now, in my 40s, it took roughly 4 weeks to get almost back to normal. I want to walk you through exactly how I approach this recovery, my rehab exercises, the dietary changes I made to reduce inflammation, the supplements I used, and finally the peptide protocol that helped speed up tendon healing. So, how did the injury happen? Pretty simple. A lot of heavy bench pressing and overhead pressing over time will eventually irritate the shoulders. Same goes for the biceps. Heavy curls every week without enough deloading or rest will take their toll. For me, the breaking point was getting the dumbbells into position for an overhead press. I didn't have a spotter, which I definitely recommend for overhead pressing. I managed to get the dumbbells up, completed the set, finished the workout, and everything felt fine until the next morning. I woke up with a stabbing pain in my right shoulder, like a knife was stuck in it. I took a full week off training. During that time, I iced my shoulder 2 to 3 times a day and used a pain relief gel. It was Pernaton. It contains glycosaminoglycans or something like that from muscle extract and menthol for a cooling effect. Honestly, any cooling gel helps ease the pain and reduce inflammation. I also visited my doctor who sent me for an ultrasound. That's when we discovered the bicep tendon inflammation as well. So here are the pictures of my ultrasound for my shoulder and my bicep tendon. Do you understand something? Me neither. So for my rehab exercises, I followed many of the same guidelines I used back in 2010 from a YouTube video that helped me enormously, and yes, it's still online and I will link it in the description. I combined those exercises with some movements my physiotherapist recommend. The rule of thumb, do movements that don't cause pain or stop just before discomfort begins. I rotated the exercises in circuits, trained 2 days in a row, then took 1 day off. So let's break down the circuits. Circuit 1, 12 to 15 reps, 3 sets for all circuits. In and out with the stick. Grab a broom handle shoulder width apart, pull it apart, then push it together. It looks like nothing is happening, but trust me, the rotator cuff feels it. Then dumbbell shoulder protections, lying on a bench, protract the scapula using a light dumbbell. Great for strengthening the serratus anteriors, crucial for shoulder stability. Posterior capsule stretch helps loosen a commonly tight part of the shoulder and restores healthy movement. Circuit number 2 is Cuban rotations, fantastic for small stabilizing muscles and shoulder health. Then with a resistance band, I did band pull-aparts, band dislocates, and band press outs. All 3 improves mobility, activated the rotator cuff and upper back, and reduce injury risk. Great as a pre-workout warm-up. Circuit number 3, external rotations with a band, essential for preventing impingement. Overhead barbell shrugs, which improve overhead stability and strengthen the muscles that support your shoulders under load. Resistance band row, where I focus on pulling with the shoulder blades down. This protects the shoulders and reinforces proper mechanics. Last, the 4 circuits, I did prone eyes, prone T's, and prone internal rotations. These build scapular control, strengthen the rotator cuff, and improve posture, all vital for preventing impingement and boosting pressing performance. Okay, so the diet. Rehab was only half the solution. I also needed to support healing through nutrition. I focused on anti-inflammatory foods like garlic, honey, nuts, olive oil, avocado, omega-3 rich foods, and I stayed in a caloric surplus because recovering in a deficit slows healing and increases muscle loss. Most extra calories came from healthy fats to support hormone production, reduce inflammation, and speed up recovery. These weren't extreme changes, just smarter choices, and I genuinely felt the difference. Less irritation, better recovery, and more stability during training. If you're dealing with tendon issues, don't underestimate nutrition. Rehab exercises matter, yes, but what you eat plays a massive role in how quickly you recover. And if you haven't yet downloaded my free nutrition guide, I made it for people who want to reach their fitness goals but don't know how to eat properly and can't afford a trainer or a nutritionist. My mission is simple: help as many people as possible live healthier lives. Okay, let's move to physical therapy. I also worked with my physiotherapist using K-laser therapy, and many of you on Instagram asked what it actually does. K-laser is a high-intensity laser that uses specific wavelengths of light to stimulate cellular repair. It penetrates deep into tissue, improves circulation, reduces inflammation, and accelerates healing. For shoulder and tendon injuries, this is incredibly helpful because those deep areas are hard to target otherwise. Each session lasted about 15 minutes and I completed 5 sessions for a total of 250 euros. I noticed gradual improvement, less irritation, reduced tendon tenderness, better range of motion, faster recovery between rehab sessions. It's not a magic cure, but combined with mobility work and strengthening, it can significantly speed up recovery. If you're dealing with chronic tendon or shoulder issues, K-laser is definitely worth considering. Okay, next are supplements. To support my recovery from shoulder impingement and bicep tendon inflammation, I also made a couple of simple supplement changes that can make a big difference over time. First is vitamin D. I added vitamin D because it plays a huge role in reducing inflammation and supporting overall joint and muscle health. Low vitamin D levels are actually very common and can slow down tissue repair. Getting my levels up has helped me feel stronger, recover better, and maintain more consistent energy. Then fish oil. I also started taking fish oil daily. Omega-3 fatty acids are known for their anti-inflammatory effects, which is exactly what you want when dealing with irritated tendons or joint issues. They help reduce stiffness, support cartilage health, and can even improve circulation to inflamed areas, which may help with recovery. These supplements alone won't fix an injury, but combined with proper rehab, nutrition, and smarter training, they can definitely support the healing process and help you feel better along the way. Okay, last but not least, peptides. As many of you know, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I will be 44 soon, and injuries simply take longer to heal than they used to. After dealing with ongoing bicep tendon pain and shoulder issues, I spent a lot of time researching different recovery tools that might support the healing process. One compound kept coming up again and again in discussions about tendon repair. It's BPC-157. Before I continue, I want to make something absolutely clear. BPC-157 is not approved, regulated, or guaranteed to be safe. There are no long-term studies, quality control can vary, and anyone considering it should fully understand the risk. I'm not recommending its use, I'm simply sharing my personal experience as a part of my recovery journey. Why I consider it BPC-157 or Body Protection Compound 157? From the research that does exist, BPC-157 is often discussed for its potential to support tendon and ligament healing, reduce inflammation, improve joint discomfort, speed up soft tissue recovery, and many athletes talk about it as a healing accelerator, especially for chronic tendon issues. Since my recovery was moving slowly and I wanted to explore every option responsibly, I decided to try it as one more piece of the puzzle. My personal protocol: I use 500 micrograms per day split into 2 doses. I stayed consistent and monitored how I felt each week. I can't say exactly how much it contributed to my progress because recovery is always a combination of factors: rehab work, rest, nutrition, sleep, and overall training adjustments. But around week 3 or 4, I noticed a clear improvement in my shoulder and bicep. Movements that had been stubborn for weeks finally felt smoother. My knees, which have been nagging me for years, also felt noticeably better. Again, I can't say it was only the peptide, but I do believe it played a role in supporting the healing process for me personally. So here are my final thoughts. Recovery is never one-dimensional. It's a puzzle. For me, BPC-157 wasn't a magic fix, but it felt like another piece that helped things fall into place. The most important parts were still rehab, lifestyle, consistency. If you're dealing with an injury, focus on the fundamentals first and always make informed choices. What worked for me may not work for someone else, and anything unregulated comes with real risks. But I hope sharing my experience gives you insight into what my recovery journey looked like and the different tools I explored to get back to feeling strong again. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you found it helpful, like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your questions. Take care of yourself, stay consistent, and I will see you in the next one.